Hey friends, my name is Megan, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to Mustard Seed Homesteading. On my channel, I give weekly garden tours no matter what the season or the weather is. Plus, I also share other videos in between on seed starting, preserving, cooking, and gardening content. But what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna take you up here in the backyard garden as well as the driveway garden to see all that has been growing because we've still had warm temperatures. Plus, I'm going to take you in the garage and I'm going to continue to show you my seed starts every week because it is officially seed starting season. So let's get started. All right, friends, well, I'm gonna, like I said, start in the garage and show you all of the seed starts that I have growing in here. We're gonna start from the top. So I did share these last week. These are all of my onions. Now I just took off the domes. I have them right here just chilling on the floor because I do plan to put them back on there. I just want them to get a little bit of air and to breathe because I have the garage door open. But I planted a ton of different varieties of onions and shallots and leeks. Now, I can see that this, I'm gonna say it wrong probably, Almagro and the Talon F1 onion, these did not germinate for me, which are the same ones over here. Now, they are an older seed, and I know onion seeds don't have a very long shelf life, so I might have to throw those away, but everything else seemed to germinate beautifully. Thankfully, onions haven't been too hard for me to grow in leeks, and shallots are new. I don't know, I have not grown shallots yet, so this is gonna be my first time doing it. But thankfully, these have germinated, so I plan to put these in the green stalks, and then also, and I'm gonna show you up top what I did, but I also like to plant these in the corners of the squares as a companion plant because they're a great companion plant for pests and just overall a great companion plant. Now, this little square that I have, I'm not going to take the dome off because these are fairly new. I planted chives in that one back here. And then I actually found a little bush tomato seed packet at the Dollar Tree. And so they're aroma bush tomato. And so I planted some of those to see how well that does for me. And then down here are my peppers. These get me super excited. Now, peppers do take longer to germinate than tomatoes. So these took a little bit longer to germinate, but they're all germinating beautiful. I had done a video on me starting my pepper seeds and the varieties that I chose for the garden this year. So far these are doing really nice and they're not very far from the lamp. You don't want them too far because then they'll get leggy. Some of my tomato seeds look a little bit leggy. I'll show you those in just a second, but these are looking really good. And then down here are the sweet potatoes. Now I show this every week and I'm gonna continue to show every week because my goal is to make slips with these. Now I've done this where I put the potato in a glass jar with toothpicks to keep about at least half of the potato in the glass. And I've had really great success with those, but those take a really long time. And I've learned that these, when you put them in soil and they grow shoots on the side, which I've done this before too, it just grows quicker. So I haven't seen anything, so I'm a bit disappointed, but I'm not giving up yet. So I have a heat mat under both of these, which is supposed to help them to grow slips a little quicker. So I'm going to try to get the soil warm and see if that helps. If not, then I'll just have to buy slips. It's not really a big deal. So I will definitely keep you all updated if we get any slips from these sweet potatoes. This gorgeous looking tray of starts are more leeks and more shallots and more onions and jicama. Now I've shared in a garden tour, I don't know which one, it's been a while, but jicama is like it's almost like a summer root plant, and I seem to do very well. So I planted 5 seeds in each pot. Some of them have germinated, some of them have not yet, so I'm just gonna give it some time. But it is a great root crop that grows very well for me in the summer. And then these are all the onions and leeks and shallots. They seem to be germinating very well. I think I put a little too much in one cup, but that's okay. You can never have too much. I'll just have to separate them. And then I did start snapdragons as well as rosemary back there, and they seem to have germinated very well, so I'm very happy to see that. I grew snapdragons for the first time last summer, and you guys, they're so beautiful. And so I had to grow more, and I bought different varieties. You can see I got a velvet, a Costa white, and then a legacy white. And then I did save seed from the snapdragons that I had last year. And you guys, look at, they germinated. So I'm really happy about that. We have a full tray over here, and then I think there's some dill. Yes, we've got some dill. Dill is a wonderful companion plant to have in the garden. So I highly recommend that you grow some. Here's my tray of ginger and turmeric that I had harvested in the fall time. I just took pieces that I grew and I leave them on top of the soil for them to kind of grow a little bit of some sprouts and some eyes. It just helps with the process of them growing once I do plant them come March. So my goal, like I said in past videos, is to grow my own ginger and turmeric and then take pieces that I grew and just pretty much recycle or replant the same pieces so that I do not have to purchase ginger or turmeric again. And then here are all of my tomato seedlings that we had just planted together in the garage, and I shared all the varieties of what tomatoes I was planting this year, and I can link that in the description below. But unfortunately, we were gone out of town for just 2 days, and within those 2 days, you guys, the electricity for some reason went out, and even though it turned back on, my grow lights never went back on. And so all of these plants were pretty much slanted towards the window for light. And so they got kind of lagging. Now I think that a lot of these are still salvageable. A lot of seeds haven't germinated either. But I'm gonna keep an eye on them. And if for some reason I have to replant a few, that's fine. I hope I don't. I want to save these because there's a lot of seed that I planted in here. So I will have to keep a very close eye on these. You see tomato 1, 2, and 3. So these are seeds that I've personally saved, and I'm really excited to show you guys that they actually germinated. That is a huge encouragement booster. So I know tomato seeds are a little bit finicky to save. I mean, they're harder, you know, because they have a jelly type substance around the seed, but it is doable. And look at, they germinated. I'm so excited. So I had to share real quick. Now, real quick, something I do want to mention is if you are growing tomato seedlings and they do get leggy like that, don't get discouraged, because along the seedling are these little fuzzy hairs, and what those are roots. And you can take that seedling, which I may do that with these, I'm not sure yet, but you can take that seedling and just plant it deeper into the soil. And they pretty much mostly, at least in my experience, when I've done that with tomato seedlings that look leggy, they have grown beautifully and they were perfectly fine. So don't get discouraged and just keep an eye on them and try doing that. Of course, I'm going to always show you the seedlings that I have outside. In fact, I'm really glad that I planted a lot of these seedlings, because up top, one of the lettuces did not make it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of those lettuces. And these are just my backup plants. Now, if all my plants up top in the back, when I show them to you, if they all do just fine and I don't, I will always figure out a home for these. I've got no problem figuring out a home or giving them away. But look at those lettuces. So I'm gonna actually have to take one of those later and go fill it up in a bag, because one of them went bad on me. So that's why I always have backups and backups for your backups. I'm going to show you real quick what we have going on in the driveway. We do have some more kale that I want to harvest, because we have quite an overcast day and it's starting to get gray and dark again. I'm so glad March is around the corner so that we can get back to having longer days. But you guys, I wanted to show these broccolis to you in the bags. These are doing so beautiful. I do not see any broccoli heads yet popping out, but the leaves look beautiful. And I'm not sure if you know this, but you can eat the broccoli leaves. The broccoli leaves are some of my favorite things to eat on the plant because they're just full of nutrition and they taste really good sauteed with onion and garlic. Here's all the broccoli that I have. Now, most of these 2 green stalks have kale, but look at how beautiful the broccoli are doing in the green stalk as well. Broccoli and kale and cauliflower seem to do very well for me in the green stalk. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna harvest a few more leaves of the kale because, as I've shared previous, I'm trying to fill up 4 trays of kale so that I can freeze dry them and make a powder. All right, friends, let's go ahead and harvest a couple of kale leaves. I love to harvest them when they're small like this. I just enjoy them being very tender. We have such an overcast day today. It's so great. While it's so pretty outside, it doesn't make for very good videos, but hopefully you can see that they're just such beautiful kale leaves. So let's go ahead and harvest some more. All right, friends, look at it. It's gotten really dark, so I'm gonna hurry up and I'm gonna get back here because I wanna show you all that's going on back here. I had planted a whole lot more starts in the back, so pretty much every spot now has a start. So I'm gonna show you what I did, and I finally added some onion starts to this bed with the broccoli, so I'll show you that here in a second. So let's get up there. Now this bed is doing really good. Now the other thing too that I did was I fertilized all the beds about a week and a half or so ago. And so everything's looking really good. Cannot complain. Everything's growing. Now there's a few things that, for instance, if that's not going to do anything, I will just pluck that out and put a new start because I have a lot of backups. But so far, everything is growing very lovely down there. I got the owl over there to protect it because, like I said, we were out of town, so I didn't want anything to happen to my start. So I put the owl there, and then I did add these sensors. Again, those are not going to stay in the bed, but I had to have something there while we were gone because I left these open just because we were having warm temperatures and it rained, so I left that. Now, the one thing I did want to share with you is I did go ahead and replant a lot of the peas like I had shared in the previous video, but look at, you guys, they are growing so beautiful. So I'm really happy about that. Now, the peas that I planted hasn't been in there that long, so you're not going to see anything just yet, but I did fill in some of the spots along here as well as over there. And you could see some of the pea shoots that are popping through, and then the idea is for them to come up this trellis so that we can get some peas, some snap peas. And I went ahead and also planted some seed here as well as along here in the spots that weren't growing pea shoots. I just replanted some seeds. And I kept it the same variety. I believe this is Sugar Ann, Snow Giant, Avalanche, and I can't remember the fourth one, but I kept them the same variety. This is the bed that I planted onions and shallots in each corner. As I shared in a previous video last year, I had all cauliflower and broccoli in this bed as well as the other bed, and I had put onions in the corners, and it really helped a lot with the pest pressure. And so that's why I'm doing it again. Now there still was some pests, but it was not nearly as bad because of the onions. Onions and garlic are some of the best companion plants. And so since I already planted all my garlic, I'm just sticking in as many onion starts as I can as a companion plant. And then this bed has pretty much been the same with the Swiss chard, our broccolis, our cabbages. I've just seen some more growth, which makes me very happy. There's nothing to harvest yet, but I'm gonna keep an eye on these and just fill in some plants that may need to be filled because either it just didn't survive or the pests got to it. So overall, I'm very happy. And then over here against the trellis, I also planted some more some more peas right here along the trellis on this side, as well as the other bed along the side as well. Here's the bed that I had shared with you all that I had to pull a lot of cauliflower out because it just flowered on me. But so far, this broccoli is doing beautifully. I cannot wait to harvest them, and I will be harvesting the leaves as well. Now, I did want to go ahead and harvest this turnip because I do plan to put cilantro seed, as I shared before, and I just think that it's time to take this one out because they have been in. Now, this is a small one. This is the first time I've ever grown a turnip, so I'll have to see how I like these, but overall, I'm very happy that I grew one. So first turnip, very exciting. And then here's a quick update on the Brussels sprouts. Nothing growing tall, but now this one seems to be growing tall. I'm happy to see this one. This one is actually growing tall. Onions are doing amazing in the corners. All the onions are doing really good. So we'll just have to keep an eye on this now that we're getting a lot more consistent temperatures. As far as warm temperatures, we'll have to see what happens with these. This is the other bed that I had said that I had planted some seeds along the trellis. Those are the telephone peas. They did amazing last year and cannot wait to grow those again. A lot of the Swiss chard in here has grown. I'm not going to harvest these yet. I'm going to let them grow a bit because I'm harvesting a lot of kale right now. But all the starts that I planted last week are still there. They're still doing good. And hopefully we'll see some growth in the next couple of weeks. And then look at my comfrey box, you guys. A lot more green growth since last week. So I'm really happy to see this. Now we are going to get some colder temperatures, so I'm not really sure what will happen. It'll probably slow down on the growth, but I'm really happy to see these. And this bed over here is still going very strong. The kale has grown quite a bit. I have fertilized this bed, so hopefully we'll see some more growth in the next couple of weeks. A lot of the plants are still pretty small because I had to replant these a couple weeks ago, but overall very happy. Now, before we end the video, because it is getting dark on me and I don't want to lose focus, I did replant these. If you weren't here, if you didn't see my last tour, I did finally go ahead and replant these all kale because the squirrels last time when I had planted these just ate everything in the fall time. They ate everything within a day or two. And then until I felt comfortable enough to put out starts because of the squirrels, once I got those sensors and I felt like they were keeping them away, I went ahead and planted these. But here's what I want to show you of what I did in the back before we end the video. Over here, a lot of the cauliflowers that were in here, I couldn't tell if they were going to go to seed or not. So what I did was I added fertilizer to these and I took off some of the dead leaves. Some of them I actually had to pull out. This one looks like, I don't know, I might have to pull that one. Some of them look like they're doing pretty good, but like I said, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on those. And what I did in the other bags was I planted some cabbages as well as some kale over here. And so all of these bags now are officially planted. This one I did share last week. I had added some kale as well as some cabbages. And then here's what I planted. So all of these pallets are officially planted with starts and we will see how they go. If any of them don't make it, as you saw, I have backups down in the seed trays by my garage area. So all of these right here are Swiss chard. I know they look very small. They don't look like there's much there, but this is a new variety, so I've never tried this before. But some bags got 3 and other ones just got 1. So we're gonna see how that one goes. And then this over here, this pallet is also Swiss chard, but we also have some cabbages. So this is the Savory Perfection cabbage. I've never grown this one before. So I'm just gonna see how it goes. I like to grow different varieties. For me, I love to grow what works for sure, the varieties that work best for me, but I also like to venture out and try different varieties as well to see if other ones do better or the same. And then this palette also is the Savory Perfection cabbages right here, as well as the Mammoth Red Rock. Mammoth Red Rock is also right here, all these. This is also new cabbage. I've never grown them before. And so I'm looking forward to that because I have tried growing it. I can't remember the variety of red cabbage, and I have not been very successful. So I'm hoping that this variety, these are all red mammoth cabbages. I'm hoping that this variety does very well for me. All right, friends, let's go ahead and see what we harvested today. So we got ourselves a wonderful, beautiful basket of kale. And like I've shared in the last video garden tour and harvest with me, I am going to stick these on my freeze dryer trays, continue to put them into the freezer. And then once I get 4 full trays of kale, I'm going to stick them into the freeze dryer and make myself some kale powder. I love adding these to smoothies. It's great to have for extra nutrition, just to add it in anything. Now, I did a video on preserving and making kale into a powder. I can leave that down below if you're interested, but I'm really happy with the kale that's growing in the green stalks. And then you guys, look at, we got our first little, this is my first little turnip. I've never grown turnips before. Sorry for the focus, you guys. We are definitely not only overcast, but it's about to get dark out. So this was the only time I had to come out to the garden today. But I'm excited to try this. And I think that bed has given me a couple of ideas of what I'm gonna do next time. Probably not put these on the outer parts of the bed so that they're not growing small like this. But I'm really excited about this. So looking forward to trying this. So friends, thanks so much for stopping by. I always appreciate you all watching my videos and going with me through the garden and harvesting and seeing what it is that I am doing on a weekly basis. It is very much appreciated, and I always look forward to seeing you guys every week. And always remember, be encouraged, stay encouraged, and I want you to always stay inspired. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.